There are no significant earnings reports expected this Monday. In Asia, shares were higher today, with Chinese markets closed for holiday on the first trading day of the new quarter as traders eye news ahead of Chinese President Xi Jinping's visit to the U.S. Japan's Nikkei 225 added 0.39%. Across the Korean Strait, the Kospi added 0.34%. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index climbed 0.5% by mid-afternoon. Right in Kenya, the government there has unveiled a package of initiatives under its latest budget to develop Islamic finance in the country as part of efforts to mobilize local funds and set Nairobi as a regional hub for the sector. The moves could spur Kenya's decade-old Islamic banking sector and help the government fund infrastructure in a country where Muslims account for about 10% of the population of some 44 million. Finance Minister Henry Rotich outlined the steps as part of the country's 2017-2018 budget, aiming to level the playing field between Islamic and interest-based transactions. Amendments to the Public Finance Management Act will also allow the government to issue Islamic bonds or sukuk as an alternative funding source. And more reactions have continued to follow the removal of South African Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan. This time it's from analysts at UBS, a Swiss global financial services company. The analysts say the sacking of the finance minister leaves the country risking a two-notch downgrade on its local currency credit rating, which would see it ejected from a key bond index and cause up to $10 billion in outflows. According to them, investment outflows at that level would effectively double South Africa's current account gap. Meanwhile, Fitch rating agency says President Jacob Zuma's cabinet shakeup heightens political risk and signaled policy change, an outcome that risks the country's sovereign investment-grade credit ratings. Moody's is scheduled to review the rating next Friday. In the meantime, South Africa's new finance minister, Malusi Gigaba, has outlined its priority area just one day in office and has appealed to all role players in the country to work with him in the interest of the economy and national development. Speaking to the media the weekend, he praised his predecessor, Pravin Gordhan, who was fired in a controversial cabinet reshuffle that has seen the rand lose about 6% of its value. Mr. Gigaba says continuity will see the nation achieving the planned radical economic transformation and not personalizing efforts and achievements.
Much more shocked.
Malusi Gigaba is South Africa's fourth finance minister in 2 years. He joins that hall of fame in very controversial times.
I am aware that we are in a climate of sharp disagreement and mutual suspicion. Let us focus our energies on finding common ground that will increase investment, create new jobs, increase productivity, and raise incomes.
The new minister faces a rand which has lost about 6% of its value. In the week, his predecessor was fired, and questions about his capability to steer the economy in the right direction under President Zuma's radical economic transformation.
When we talk radical economic transformation, we're not talking about something that is out of our imagination, that has not been or is not being carefully thought out. We are talking about policies that have worked in many mixed middle-income countries, in many developing economies, and we're going to draw the best lessons from those economies in order for us to take decisions that are going to assist.
He has held a series of meetings already with Treasury, ratings agencies, and there are more meetings to come. But what are his priority areas at this time?
Firstly, I will work with Parliament to approve the 2017 MTEF and ensure its effective and efficient execution, including achieving the fiscal objectives that our Cabinet approved in January. We will use state procurement strategically and vigorously to ensure localization, promote the promotion of black-owned, women-owned, youth-owned enterprises and SMMEs, and to facilitate industrialization. I will work with the central bank to take steps to strengthen and transform the financial sector so that it serves all South Africans.
46-year-old Knowledge Malusi Gigaba holds a master's degree in social policy and has been in government for 13 years, serving in the Home Affairs Department as Deputy Minister, Public Enterprises as Minister, Home Affairs Minister, and now Finance Minister. Regarded as a staunch Zuma supporter, he faces the task of earning the confidence of very keen watchers of the economy. From Pretoria, South Africa, Betty Dibia, Channels Television News.
And back here in Nigeria, we'll look at the debt market. The Treasury bills market closed on a bearish note last week with an average yield moving northwards by 30 basis points to close at 17.54%. However, investors remained upbeat in the bond space with average yield easing 5 basis points to close at 16.27%. Now let's see how the market has started the new week and of course the new month. Oladipo Adeoye, fixed income dealer with UBA Group, joins us now. Good afternoon, Oladipo.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Now it's a new week, a new month and a new quarter. What's the mood of the market this day?
Mood of the market today is pretty much flat. Yields are at the same level where they opened at. Nothing is really happening in terms of activity today. Interestingly, the central bank still offered OMO bills today, and which the result came out at 18 and 18.60 for the short and the long end, respectively.
Now, today being the beginning of a new week, and of course a new month, and of course a new quarter, what is your outlook?
I think for this month is expectedly supposed to be a liquid month, owing to the fact that we're expecting some maturity on the bond side. There's a 2017 bond that will be maturing this month. So ideally, it should be a bullish month. However, the activity of the central bank on the OMO hand, as well as the intervention on the FX hand, would have some liquidity impact, which would calm the market expectations. So even though bearish sentiment seems to be, bullish sentiment seems to be the trend or the expectation, we might not see that massively if the central bank continue the strategy.
Okay, Oladipo, thank you very much for your time. We'll take a quick break now. We'll be back shortly.